Hi everyone, welcome to this online video. This one is focusing on the results section of your research project. I just want to make sure that we've got the right people watching this video and you're not wasting your time in case you don't actually have to watch this. This video is only for people that have the quantitative aspect in their study. If you're purely looking at qualitative analysis, then you don't need to watch this video. In terms of word allocation then, for the results section, you're probably going to want around 200 words. That all it's going to refer to is the graphs, tables and figures and your explanations underneath. For the remaining word count you'll use in your discussion section, which you'll have to watch the next video to understand what that section is all about. So if you haven't already done so, please take a look at the research handbook and the explanation for the results section. This will explain a lot more on what this informational video actually looks at and focuses upon. So the aim of your chapter, as you can see on the screen, is to provide a clear overview of all the statistical tests that you've done, any tables and figures that you've included. Your basic premise of the results section itself is to think of a logical order in which you can present your information, so from table 1, table 2, table 3, so that it provides the best way of telling the story of your project to the reader, pretty much. So this is an example of one graph that has been included in previous student work. So looking at shoulder flexibility test, what the student in question has done is presented their information. They've given the averages that you can see. They've presented it in that you can see the positions and the actual readings. And then what the student has done underneath is provided a bit of an explanation as to what the graph is actually showing. It's basic minimal information and it only has to be descriptive. We tend to go with a maximum of 2 bullet points underneath each graph, and I recommend 1 or 2 are used throughout. So then, these are a couple of other factors that you may want to include in your results section. First of all, measures of central tendency. We covered these in outcome 3 and 4 of research methods last year. We covered mean, median, mode and range. If you've used these measurements to explain any factor of your data collection and data analysis, make sure you include them in your results section. Underneath each point, as you may have seen in the last slide, make sure you include a bullet point or 2 to explain what the graph or table is actually showing. Then we're going to statistical tests. So make sure you state the test that you've used, i.e. a t-test, Wilcox and matched pairs test, and the outcome. That will probably be the t-value or the u-value or the p-value for whatever test it is that you've actually used. As with tables and figures, make sure you give a bit of a description. Couple of bullet points to explain what the test has actually shown. Don't go into too much detail though. The detail will come in your discussion chapter where you really get to grips with your actual data and you start to analyse it and push towards an higher grade. So and finally, a few do's and don'ts for you to really push towards writing a really good results section and push towards an higher grade. Write where possible in third person and in the past tense. I would recommend that throughout the study itself. Remember that statistical tests look for 95% confidence levels. So if you remember when we spoke about 0.05 last year in research methods, this is what it's referring to. How confident you are that what you have done in your study has caused the results and it hasn't happened by chance. If you need a refresher on this, don't feel worried about asking. Just give me an email, come and see me in the office and I can feel free to explain all that for you. If you've got any negative results, so you've actually disproven an hypothesis, speak about those too, because that is actually a finding in itself. Don't forget the null hypothesis. If you've proven that, then you've proven a hypothesis and you've got something to write about. One final thing to avoid, don't include masses of raw data. All that can go in your appendices if it's actually relevant. If it's not relevant, you're not actually speaking about it, then why include it? Thanks for listening. If there's any more questions, as I would say, please write them down, bring them to the next lesson, or come and find me, come and speak to me, and we can talk them through and discuss. Thanks.